Hello, welcome. We're going to discuss that beautiful thing called hope, which in Hebrew is Tikvah, tikva, help other people eagerly. Why should we have hope? Because God always makes a way where there's none. He is an Waymaker. Just read the book of Esther. It's a story of divine deliverance. Jesus is our anchor of hope. Hope comes when we put our trust in God, when we finally come to know that He is the answer, no matter what the question. When we start fasting and praying, when we finally believe that God is who He says He is and He can do what He says He can do, that makes hope an action that we have to carry out in order to receive it. 1 Corinthians 3:11. The hope we have in Jesus is that solid rock foundation. When there's nothing left to hold on to, His anchor of hope is secure. And know this, His anchor holds. It's good to long for heaven because it shows we are also longing for Jesus. That longing is a hope from Him that's meant to encourage and strengthen us. It's what fills us with joy. Some people think hope is wishful thinking, and that's false because the second we accept Jesus as Lord, heaven becomes our final destination. That hope of heaven is what helps us enjoy our time on, on earth. It keeps our spirits alive in those hard times and makes our path brighter, allowing us to be aware of His presence. That hope comes and overflows by the power of the Holy Spirit. Romans 8:24 and 25, chapter 15, verse 13, and chapter 6, 17 and 18. Remember what the hymn says: our hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. In the midst of trials, God often sends hope quietly and gently, like snowflakes, to let us know how much He loves us. In the worst storms, He flips on the rainbow to let us know He is right there with us and calms our fears. 1 Timothy 1:1. Hope is unshakable confidence in God. Hoping in Him protects us from depression and self-pity. It's a cord that connects us to heaven. Romans 12:12. When we stray from His presence, hope starts to fade. Psalms 42:11 is how we fix that. Why? Because there's hope in the name of the Lord. Our greatest hope is found in the words of John 11:25. Hang on to them. There are lots of things we can stand to lose, but hope is not one of them. When things look dim, look up. See His light shining. That light is our ray of hope that outshines the darkness. Hope lifts your perspective from your tired feet back onto the road ahead. Hebrews 6:18 and 19. That hope of heaven can refresh those tired feet. When we look to the God of hope, then through the power of the Holy Spirit, hope springs up in us. Notice how in 1 Corinthians 13, hope is in the middle of faith and love. It shows us that those words go together. The next time you get that sinking feeling, weigh anchor in Jesus. Hope is critical. It mandatory to get through hard times. There's nothing worse than hopelessness. It can be contagious, but so is hope. There's no better medicine. Hope will not be cut off. Responsibility is about hope and control. It is said there's no better pillow than one filled with hopes and dreams. Sometimes hope for the future is found in the ashes of yesterday. Hope is oxygen for your soul. God grows flowers of hope in the ashes of loss. So let new hope sprout and bloom in your heart. Here are a few more things about hope. It's one of God's beautiful four-letter words. Google the old hymn, Whispering Hope. It's one of the sweet songs the angels sing. When we hear it in our spirit, it softly, tenderly comforts us like morning dew when it touches the grass. Sometimes our souls need a good soaking of hope. Other times, just a dewdrop is enough. The fact that God put it between faith and love is what makes it so strong and why its anchor holds. It's why we can weigh our anchor in Jesus. It's that anchor that keeps ships from drifting along with the tides and currents. Back in the times when ships only had sails and they got off course in a storm, when those sails were sagging from a lack of wind, then suddenly the wind would start to blow again, refilling those sails, helping them get back on course again. That wind was the wind of the Holy Spirit that we call hope. Sometimes that hope comes from simple things like a smile, a hug of love, or a comforting touch. Our faith and His love are what anchors that hope. Without those two anchors, hope wouldn't mean very much. You may sing your prayer requests to heanswerstwo@gmail.com. We hope you'll keep listening for some more hope next week.